Mbukele ekhaya sikwemukele siphinze sikuvusele luhlelo lapho khona sikhulumisa tindzaba temkhuhlane iCovid-19 sitibuka etinhlangothini leta hlukahlukene. Libito lami nginguSibusiso Ngubane ngihambisana nazama Nzimanze. Mbukeli ke namuhla ehlelweni sitawukhulumisa lana indzaba lesexwayiswe ngayo litiko letempilo kanye nenhlangano yakamhlabuhlangene indzaba yekubhedvuka kwesibili kwemkhuhlane iCovid-19 kubonakele ke emaveni langesheya kwetilwandle mbukeli ekhaya kubhedvuka lo mkhuhlane kwesibili wabuya sewubuya kumbe ngamandla laphindviwe kunana ubhedvuka kwekucala elangeni layitolo livele libomakhelwane eNingizimu Afrika limemetele indvuna yetempilo Dr. Zweli Mkhize ukuthi vele iNingizimu Afrika sesigabeni sesibili sekubhedvuka kwalomkhuhlane nelivekela kangwane lecwayiswa ukuthi singahle sifike noma sibhekane nako kubhedvuka kwesibili kwalomkhuhlane. Elihlelweni ke namuhla nginaye Vusi Lokothwako lophuma ke elihlangothini lolubuke kubhedvuka kwetifo etiko letempilo sikumukele Lokothwako elihlelweni.
Siyabonga Ngubane ukuthi sibe nawe ehlelweni ukuthi sibe ube kanye nathi ehlelweni lanamuhla sitawubukisana kabandi ngetindzaba temkhuhlane weCovid-19 njengoba sokuchazile tindzaba tabo second wave.
Lokothwako sikwemukela nje elihlelweni kumbe singakangene kuto leti tindzaba tabo second wave le kukubhedvuka kwesibili kwalomkhuhlane kubuka ke kumbe njengebantfu lababuke kubhedvuka kwetifo nitibekise tinombolo ukuthi njalo ngemva kwetinyanga letimbili nanibuka lomkhuhlane utawube ume kanje kumbe nje sicale lapho ekutheni nanitibuka letinombolo live lisachubeka lilwa nawo lomkhuhlane iCovid-19 tikhomba kuthini vele.
Okay, siyabonga Ngubane umbuto lo ubekako ukuthi tinombolo tikhomba kuthini. Kumbe ngingachaza Ngubane ukuthi njoba bengichazile ngaphambilini ukuthi siyasibuke vele ukuthi kutawendeka phambili. Lokubuka ukuthi kutawendeka phambili mhlambe kubuka cast formbe setindvo letingahle tendeke usebenzisa lo lokukhona nyalo ukuthi nangabe tindvo titawuchubeka kanje ngunako lokutawendeka liba kubita ngekuthi ngule language yakama projections noma ka modeling kubitwa ngekuthi ma assumptions ukuthi uya assume ukuthi tindvo titawendeka kanje so lebese wendile sasi projectile ukuthi for instance ekupheleni kwa November which is 30 November si projector in a form of a spectrum lapho khona kuyirange ukuthi nangabe i-transmission low kutabanga kana isemkhathini njalo nayisetulo so bese project i-range lebe isuka ku 6049 ukuthi if i-transmission low atabang 6049 if i-moderate atabang 6349 and if isetulo atobang 6543 and then so engcide ke 30 November of which sesinayo an actual ya 30 November lekhomba ukuthi bekang 6419 so if ukubuka lokho kutshengisa lokho ukuthi kulama projections ethu sibe within le range the projected range but waba skewed towards the upper bound or the upper limit which is actually meaning waba skewed to a higher rate of infection. It doesn't necessarily mean kuba within the range gendeka kube ngephandle because assumptions change along the way. Sesikushito lokho sibuketa lokho bekuma cases and then especially sibuka issues of mortalities which means deaths. So nakhona we had actually projected i-range le suka ku 119 kuthi by end of November we might have 119 cases on a low transmission. On a moderate transmission about 126 and then on an upper transmission about 129 and the actual figure lesabanayo as of the 30th of November about 122 of which now buka lapho uyabona lokho ukuthi lama cases in fact lama deaths wona ke beka much skewed towards the lower bound of our range.
Yes, kuyevakala lokuthwako then sihamba ke sitibona leti nombolo senifika lapho khona senimodela lokho lokutanikhombisa ukuthi kumbe nase kwendeka lokhu utawukhomba ukuthi engcenye live selifike esigabeni lapho khona lo mkhuhlane sowubhethuka kwesibili. Ingabe kumbe nje kuchazela umbukeli ekhaya beni modele ukuthi yini lo lokunganikhombisa ukuthi uma kwendeka lokhu kutawusho ukuthi engcenye sesikuyo i-second wave.
Okay, siyabonga kakhulu Ngubane. So sonke isikhathi nangabe senda i-analysis yethu siya sibuka ema parameter mhlambe lendawo uthi mathathu. Sibuka the person ukuthi itawube iaffecte bantu nangu nalona. So thi inombolo lethu. Sibuke i-place isho ukuthi noma ke ngenci kahle la person sibuka lokuthi lo hlobo lebantu le affected ngibaphi affected wonke umuntu noma kukhethe a certain population. Siphinde sibuke of which nasibuka our cases sikhanzile ukuthi affecta wonke umuntu, but laba more infected kube ngule population lesithi i-middle age noma it's more skewed towards younger age. Ngoba I think 28% of my cases ethu it's the age leng 20 to 29, of which we are seeing a shift. So shifted from 30 to 39, we are shifting down to the younger age. And then in terms of place where abuke indzawo lenzawo kumcoka lokuthi labantu baqhamuka phisa especially siyacategorize thina ukuthi lama cases ethu nasiwabuka siwabona asporadic. Lokuba sporadic sho ukuthi aqhamuka lena le kude kuthi ungawa group uthi aqhamuka phi indzawo nyasa onke, bese kuba khona lo clustered cases la ngale sithi a clustered ngile sithi nasiwabuka sikhanze ukuthi kukhona ticukwana lesingadisho ukuthi siyawabona mhlambe ama cases nanga la mochane azidlika khona ngathi igama lesiswati kahle ngalisebenzisa phinde siyawabona mhlambe ezulwini nanga lokushothi na ungawadraw ku map ungakhona ukuthi phika letinzawo ukuthi nawa ngoye lesithi ama clusters. Bese kuba khona ke usually lama clusters uyukhanze ukuthi mhlambe kukhona munye lo yitfolile wasuthela labanye, bese kuba khona ke lesithi gona it's i-community transmission. I-community transmission eyisho ukuthi akasasiko sporadic, akasasiyo ma clustered, asas generalized. Lokusho ukuthi na uhamba etinzaweni sekuthi indzawo longayikhomba ukuthi kula cishe ngiSwaziland wonke noma ke Eswatini wonke ngilolo generalized. Bese ke inhlavi yesithathu lemcoka kakhulu ngulesithi i-time in terms of isikhathi. So kunanaku lesithi thina ama epidemic curve ngiloke kusilayele lokuthi lama cases asenyukile. So ema epidemic curves ngilokuthi siwa-plot lama cases ngelanga siwabone lokutha behavior kanjani. Bese siyabuka ke ukuthi mhlawumbe sesifikile ku peak. I think you recall ukuthi at some point sakhuluma nga 147 ngelanga linye le ku end of July. I think it was 31 July. Lokushothi le curve beyile etulu lama case enda njalo, and then bo September lama cases aya decline, aya dropa, asaba pass. Now what we are seeing now if sibuka lama graphs ethu siyabona lokho ukuthi saphinze lama cases asaqalile ayaphakama. So nasi comparisha thina sibuka lama cases noma ke le distribution, but in terms of time, over time, si comparisha those two periods. Le period lesbiya kiyo lendawo ukuthi mhlambe ye winter mhlambe nanyalo siyabona lokho ukuthi in as much as sesikusama nyalo, but lama cases aqale abalapha pass adlala khona now asayadlalela etulu. So lokunye lesikunothisa ukuthi, and what we've seen before even nakulamanye emave ngiloko ukuthi once lama cases start going up nakafika le etulu akavami lokusuka mhlambe ngiyabekisa nje ake asuka aya ku 57 bekasuka kubobani bekasuka kubo 89 nasabuya abese akasabuyi la kubo 50 la kubo 89 ukhanze ukuthi abuya asachwakela kubo 30, which means our new normal sekuba ngilabo 30 28 achubeke malanga phinde sithole ijump ithi 50 banban, of which is ngayithola nalenye jump ishobo 60 bo 70. Lo shot nase isuka lapho lama cases akavami lokuthatha uphinza abe la ku 30 noma ku 40 abese athi establishela a new number. So nakwendeka le process leyo yalokujamba kwalama cases over time. Now uthi ubuka emuva lesithombe uyabona ukuthi hawo ema cases asaphakeme kangaka, nangibuka emuva sengicishe ngilingana naleli benginako ngaphambilini. Lokusho ukuthi lama cases akutshengisa lokho ukuthi vele lo mkhuhlane so ukhona phinze ngemandla.
Uthinzela na indzaba yokuthi kubonakala ishift kule tinombolo kumbe tebantu labathola lo mkhuhlane from 30 to 39 setibuya ku 20 to 29 ingabe nanilandzelela kubangelwa yini lokho?
Siyabonga Ngubane, noma singaku interrogate fully, but early indications ayasitshengisa lokho ukuthi nasibuka le population leyo lesingathi infected, we are able to understand ukuthi lama cases abobani. So nasibuka lama cases esikhanzile ukuthi lama cases kube khona ukuthi mhlambe saba nema situations ukuthi ku infecteke ngidawuthini banifana. Mhlambe ngathi abantu abesikole laba ku boarding school bathelelane babe baningi kuyayihlisa nale nombolo. Lo lo mnyaka not le nombolo. Lokunye sibonile lokho ukuthi as letikhathi tiqhubeka kuchinja kuiza lama restrictions, I think you recall ukuthi as of 1 October kwa izwa i-travel of which people were given conditions to banga traveler meeting these conditions. We see a lot of young people actually testing to travel. We see a lot of young people testing to go to schools to whatsoever settings. So ukhanze ukuthi bese kuyabonakala ukuthi it could be some of the drivers lokhanza ukuthi asahlisa le ngathi le age group. But over and above that, if sesibuka tindzaba tabo compliance, because i-infection kutaba i-function compliance ukuthi are you complying?
Yes.
Siwabonile groups, certain groups lokhanza ukuthi abanako ukuviolate ema COVID-19 regulations. Ukhanze ukuthi sesiyabonakala sibambelana libhodlela labhiya, siyabonakala umusic wethu ukhalela etulu sisonzelene ndzawonye njalo and siyathi ukuthi while sisanatha mhlawumbe tinat for tethu state sethu siyashintsha siye ngekuba more excited. Ukhanze ukuthi noma bebe sifafakile ama mask namalanye ama interventions ukhanze ukuthi sesigcina asisaka kwendi kahle bese siyaqhubeka sathela. So there are range of factors which we can actually attribute le change to.
Uthinzela na indzaba lokuthiwa ukuthi tinombolo tenyukile satibona tifika ku 57 kepha nasetijika tibuyele emuva atisabuyeli kulabo 89 lebedisuka kubo. Umbuto lomkhulu uthi ngabe sesi kuyo in the second wave noma cha?
Okay, ngiyabonga Ngubane. Thanks for asking that. I think it's $1 million question. It's a very difficult question to answer, but ngizama ukuyiphendula ngibe as simple as possible. If you look at my definitions of what is a second wave, usually people don't call it that by definition, but what is a resurgence? Resurgence, which is termed synonymous to a second wave. Yeah. So resurgence by definer as an increase or a revival of cases after a period of lower cases or lower activity. So if ubuka ema cases ethu uwabuka in terms of the distribution of the cases like ngichazile over time, I think you can agree with me ukuthi at some point we were at a point of lower activity.
Yes.
And when we're at a point of low activity, what we are seeing now, we are seeing an increase, a sharp increase in the number of cases. So already lendvu ngakubekisa njengetindzaba ukuthi lendzaba lekucala ya le first wave, because the first wave is clear ngayo sayibona.
Yes.
Siyasibona lesicongo sayo lapha ku 147 nasibuka end of January. So sithi nasichubeka nalama cases iswaplota over time. Sesiyayibona phinze ukuthi ngathi siphinze sicalele ndzaba. So nase siyicalile lenzaba sesiyikhuphuka again. What I want to say is nase siyinyuka lenzaba, it's an indication ukuthi ema cases aya increase after a period of lower activity.
Yes.
Which we can say as a ministry kuma indications of a second wave. We
Yes.
are at an early stage of a second wave, if I can answer it in simple English. We're at an early stage of a second wave, but then how will the second wave be? Will it reach the peak that we reach in the first wave?
Yes.
Yes or no? So what will determine that is sikhone lokubona lokuthi what is driving the transmission, which is fueling the cases. and we react to that as promptly, as immediately as possible.
Yeah.
So lokutawendeka if sikhona lokhu I understand lama cases ethu ngaleti inhlavu leti insathu lengitichazile sitawukhona lokho ukuthi sivele simove quickly into that zone and sifike si-intervene. Once we intervene sitawube sesiyakhona ukuthi lama cases siwanciphise. Mhlambe a quick example lengayibekisa, we've had a similar issue whereby nangakhumbula kaManzini there were cases in the Manzini region yajamba kakhulu. Yathi nayijamba sa-identify lokuthi banvana laba in a hostel setting, and then we quickly came in sabatest abantwana, saba-contact tracer, saba-isolate labanye, kwase immediately the transmission iyema. So now the question is, had we not intervened ngalesikhathi lesefika ngawo, what would be the number of cases that would be having from that scenario? So hence I'm saying lo nyalo siku second wave, but lo bukhulu bale second wave butawudeterminewa ngilokwekuthi si-intervene noma sibe rapid kanganani kuma interventions ethu.
Yes. Kude maybe njengoba ubekisa ukuthi sisekuqaleni kumbe kwe second wave kumele leti nombolo tibe nganani kude vele kunilitiko nisho ukuthi wo nyalo ke sesingene kuyo mbamba le second wave.
Okay, ngiyabonga ngubani. In terms of tinombolo, I think that's a very, very tricky situation because that speaks to thresholds. We'll see what is the threshold of a second wave, of which that we don't have. But what we use, ikona guidance lesnayo from WHO, which is actually saying, buka ema number of cases of new cases which are increasing, of which they are, buka ema number of deaths are increasing, of which they are actually increasing. It's a range including what testing which will increase a lot of things. So now buka leto tinfo leto uyabona vele lokuthi lama cases atshengisa umkhuba ngidawuthi umkhuba noma atshengisa ngazuthi vele ayenyuka of which ngeke sithi sigma early stages of the second wave. Having said that, I think by lama guidelines leswasebenzisako ayasho lokuthi vele state any situation iyadeclarishwa. So utawukhanza ukuthi mhlawumbe utawubese uyavela mhlawumbe minister waka health noma ke i-minister of health bese iyasho lokuthi look nyalo sesiku second wave, they will actually communicate formally to say sesikule sigaba lestabe sesikiso leso sikhathi.
Kuyevakala uthinzalana indzaba kumbe yekuhlola ukuthi kumbe ngilenye kumbe letawusita sibonile nakucekiswa lemigomo bantfu sebaphuma kukhona keNingizimu Afrika kwalenyusa kumbe lizinga lekuhlola ngekwekuthi na uphuma egedeni kudzingeka leso certificate. Ingabe kusite kanganani lokwekuthi na udzinga keNingizimu Afrika uhlole in terms of ukuthi nikhone kubekisa leti nombolo nekubona ukuthi ingabe lo mkhuhlane ukhula kanganani noma awukhuli kanganani?
Okay, siyabonga ngubane. As we do lama activities on a day-to-day basis, siyakhona lokuba classify labantu ukuthi lona uteste ngoba bekaneti impawu, lona uteste ngoba mhlawumbe bekatsinzene nabanibani, lona uteste ngoba bekafuna travel.
Yes.
So lengakusho ukuthi with or without traveling, cases are increasing, and we've looked at the distribution of our cases by lama factors which I've alluded to. Sabona lokuthi it's about 30 to 34% of our cases which are actually travelers.
Yes.
Now, what does that mean? It actually means there are still a high number of cases of people who have tested because they have symptoms. And loko kusho kuthini? Kusho ukuthi umkhuhlane usesekhona COVID-19 usaseculator among us. It would have meant we are missing cases kube sikhanze ukuthi laba leba tester for travelers are accounting for most of our burden, then it will have a different interpretation.
Kuyevakala lokho thwako mbukele ekhaya ngihletilana na Vusi lokho thwako lophuma ke kulo litiko letempilo luhlangothi lolubuke kubhedvuka kwetifo lesingathi ngesilumbi epidemiologist or rather epidemiology department lapho khona kubukwa ke Donald indzaba temkhuhlane COVID-19 mbukeli kulesikhathi sanyalo sitawuthatha likhefu sijike titolo sibuye sichubeke nalo luhlelo.
Pay your TV license quickly and easily with MTN Momo. Simply dial *007 *3 hash and select option 8 for TV license. Enter your national ID number as your reference and the amount you wish to pay. Then enter your PIN to confirm your payment. Once your payment has been made, you'll receive a confirmation SMS of your payment. If you're a first-time payer, you get another SMS for your TV license. So legalize your entertainment from the comfort of your home. Pay your TV license the easy and convenient way with MTN Momo.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
The change in technology, out-of-home digital media is designed to grab the attention of people who are always on the go. You can now watch your favorite show, Usile Breakfast Show and Inzaba at 7 on your favorite YouTube channel.
It's simple. You can stream these shows by following these quick, easy steps. Number 1, open YouTube. Number 2, search for Eswatini TV and click on Eswatini TV. Number 3, after you had entered on Eswatini TV, look for Tinzaba or KPS. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, subscribe and ring the bell button to get notifications of our video uploads and streams. And lastly, enjoy the stream. Stay home and watch Eswatini TV. Stay safe.
Why should we pay our TV license?
The content on our local television is actually more up to date. The industry is enhanced.
It is a criminal offense not to pay your TV license and attracts a fine of 500 emalangeni or 6 months imprisonment.
And the industry is definitely blooming, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we have for you. But we'll be right back just after the break and we'll give you more of Miss V.
Pay my TV license. That's why I can enjoy the benefits of an enhanced industry and keep track with recent transformation.
Mommy, who paid for a TV license and what are they paying for?
The owners of TV set and the gadget with a tuner like DVD set have to pay.
Pay your TV license at NetBank with the details provided on screen. Or use your cell phone via the mobile money pay. You could also visit your nearest post office and pay there. Pay your TV license via Eswatini Mobile Imali. Any TV device retailer can purchase a license to trade. Pay your TV license and enhance the industry.
Mbukele ekhaya siphinze sikwemukele lihlelweni sihletike na Vusi lokothwako lophuma elihlangothini lwelitiko letempilo lolubuke kubhedvuka kwetifo sikhulumisana na indzaba ye kubhedvuka kwalomkhuhlane COVID-19 kwesibili uyaveta ke lokothwako ukuthi noma tinombolo tisakhomba kuba phansi kukhona kwangathi sesisonzele vele kubhedvuka kwalomkhuhlane kwesibili lokothwako sisakhuluma nje yona lendzaba besiyibuka kumbe esigabeni selive ngedinombolo itolo sibonile sifunza sakamanzini kungiso kumbe lesikhombisa ukuthi ngilapho lomkhuhlane ubhedvuke khona ngathi uthe phihli nje kakhulu kubhedvuka ngabe nasibuka lokubhedvuka kwesibili kwalomkhuhlane letinombolo tithini tisolo tiyamkhomba yini kumbe emanzini njengenzaawo lapho khona lomkhuhlane ufuna ukukhombisa kwenyuka kuqathaniswa naletinye tifunza.
Okay, siyabonga kakhulu ngobane kulo mbuto. I think it has evolved over time. besati vele ukuthi nasibona inombolo emva manzini ugijima embili at some point waqhamuka hoho wasuba ngetulu kwamanzini but then kibese kuphinze indod yajika wabese ngathi manzini so uphinze uyaphika uyaphakama so where we are now manzini is peaking very very high compared to the other regions so now ubuka nje on a day to day basis nangena ama cases abamaningi ama cases mhlawumbe lesingathi amanzini so nalapha nje nasiveta le graph yethu already sewuyambona manzini so uphakeme so uletulu compared to the other regions phinze alandzele naye ngoho and then the two other regions langala sekugcineni lolibombo nashiselweni now atshengisa ema signs ekubheka eku increase though at that low rate lapha khona but overall ema cases are increasing and if you ask me ukuthi what is driving the so much increase within our national cases it is mainly the Manzini regions but also the Hoho region is also accounting for that increase.
Sibonile lana lokuthiwa kohulumende acikisa kude nemnotho noma akacikisa imigomo kude nemnotho welive uphefumule kwavula kumbe ukuthi abantu sengababamba imicimbi kwendekelo kwanalokho sekuveleke kukhathateka ngenzaba kumbe yemicimbi leseyibonakala kwangathi ngiyo leseyibhebhetela lomkhuhlane lesingathi ngesilumbi ngema super spreaders ingabe litiko selikhonile yini kubona ukuthi kumbe ngutiphi leto inhlangothi lesedeveloping lama super spreader eCovid.
Okay, siyabonga ngubani. Lendlela sikubuka ngakhona sikubuka thina iSuper spreader kungule event lethatha abantu labaningi ithathe sikhathi lesitse ukhanze ukuthi labantu ba congested so siyaye ku summarize in a way lesithi iSuper spreader it is when people are doing what thina lesithi ku avoid when people are doing that lo 3 C's. So lo siwe cala it's ngilapho khona people are in closed spaces with poor ventilation.
Yes.
Lekufute sikufake emqondweni wethu ngaso sonke isikhathi it's a mode of transmission of COVID-19 ukuthi COVID-19 usuka kanjani kulomunye aye kulomunye.
Yes.
Siyathi ukuthi ma droplets. If kuma droplets ke if we are in a closed space it is very likely ukuthi ama droplets alomunye while sikhuluma athinze mhlambe umlomo walomunye noma impumulo yalomunye noma ke emehlo lomunye noma akathinze imask yalomunye ukhanze sinasa ithinza so akasathi gezi tandla. Kwesibili it is actually crowded places with many people near each other. So labantu lokhanza ukuthi banengi basonzelene kakhulu kuyabanga lokho ukuthi umkhuhlane uhambe kuba iSuper spreader nalokho. I think singaku relate in our day to day living siyakwati ukuthi ngikuphi. Bese kuba nalama close contact settings with many people ama close contact settings such as close range conversations. Nasihlangene nje sibaningi sibusise disco kukhala umusic ngifuna ukucoca nawe nangifuna ukucoca nawe nangikhuluma kancane ngeke ungive ngicina ngicina ngimemeta noma sengisonzela kuwe ngidokuhlebela while ngita ngisonzela kuwe ngidokuhlebela ema droplets ayasuka kimi eta kuwe noma ke the other way around nabe khona lo nemkhuhlane lapho so yamthelela lo munye. So sibuka idata yethu silitiko letempilo sesiwabonile mhlawumbe lele kungathi ngema clusters in terms of our cases of which nasi classify lama cases ethu siyayisibone lokuthi diyavela tikolo njoba ngishido ukuthi depending ukuthi etikweni bantwana bahleli kanjani ama cases atawa khona.
Yes.
Ikakhulu kodwa la tikolweni kuvela kakhulu lama boarding schools. Ngoba kuma boarding schools uyakhanze ukuthi le sleeping arrangement si congested bantwana labanye ba close to lolomunye umfana so vele nabalele utawukhanza ukuthi bayakhona bayathelela nomkhuhlane ngathi bayakhona ngathi into lesiyifisile kana sikayifisi. Ema workplaces it's highly unlikely ukuthi nasithole icase ku workplace bese sikhanza ukuthi sesigcinile ngayo. Lama colleagues nasenta abo contact tracing we pick ema colleagues as cases nasesifika siba testa so sikubonile ema workplaces nje lengathi common kakhulu siwanakile ema factories if you look at our database ayachamuka very often, of which it means there's something lengendeki kahle kuma factories in terms of compliance. Emabhange it's happening a lot. Kune exchange lenkulu emabhange. Ngibisa nangiya nawe ebhange nje bathi bise ID yakho bisa in yakho. While handling that process vele sidawuthela nomkhuhlane. So abonile ama cases aqhamuka kubo sugar belt anza kakhulu lokusho ukuthi kukhona lokwendekako government offices. We are not spared in assisting Ministry of Health. I think I don't know now government official noma na healthcare worker uba nale false security ungathi uyadi ngale sifo kanti lokwadi akusho ukuthi ngeke sikungenele sifo ngoba mathuba futhi ke makhulu ke kithi. So abonile mhlambe emasondvo, so abonile ema soccer players lengingakusho kula soccer players sikhanzile futhi ukuthi ukhanza kulamanye ema team enda lendvo ukuthi kube convenient ukuthi badlali babe ndzawonye nabo clubhouse. That clubhouse become a super spreader of infections. We cannot estimate kakhulu in terms of travel because COVID is a bit tricky. Awadi lokuthi uinfected again. There is a moment where you think ngaba infected la ukhanza takusiko la infected kon. So we look at issues of within our malls. People back close to each other. We look at issues within our bus terminals, bus ranks. People are so close to each other. Mode of transport, sesaba back to full capacity. So I think we can actually say seswabonile some of most of the super spreaders nalawo lesisola ukuthi mhlawumbe angiwola abhebhetela lomkhuhlane.
Naku ke senwa identify lesibambisana njani ukuthi kunciphe kubhebheteleka kwalomkhuhlane kuleti tindzawo leti.
Okay, siyabonga ngobane kulo mbuto. Kune messaging lehamba kulamalanga. Ukukhuluma ngabo umgcini wesive ukuthi I'm my brother's keeper. Sikhuluma nga do it all.
Yes.
Sithi kwende konke. Siyalishumayela lelivangeli lelo ukuthi thani ufake imask. Ube u social distance, ube wenda lokwa, I mean ube geza tandla.
Yes.
Ngiyangithanze ukubekisa it's a court lengayeba ka HIV kule group ya ka HIV. Bathi kubangelwa yini wena lokho ukuthi nawo usekhaya kakho angeke uthi nawo kill gate. Uthi hayi umnyango noma ngete nawo uvala cause iligede ngilikhiyile.
Yes.
You are actually saying in the event lo muntu ajamba leligede afika la mnyango akhanza ukhiyiwe.
Akakhanza umnyango ukhiyiwe.
Sikhiyaze sokhenshol camera lesingakhi. So nalapha sithi do it all. So that sito make sure ukuthi if lapha kuphunyulile kubambeke lokho esibili if phunyulile kubambeke lokho esithathu. So lesikwendako silitiko I think bantu bake basibona kuma malls kuma road shows kuma bus rank litiko letempilo li increase noma ke intensify le risk communication lapho khona siyahamba sende ma road shows sicocisana nebantu nga COVID-19 sibabuta imibuto kuningi lesikufundza kulabantu. Unecabanga ukuthi abantu bayati bantu but akusiyo yonke information lengathi mhlambe bayi receive kahle. Lokunye lesikwendako sinala libandla lengithi mhlambe la ka contact tracing. So nasithole umuntu bahamba bendele contact tracing ulama contacts alo muntu bathi bangabuka lama contacts bende nje le comprehensive process bese kulandzela lelinye libandla lesithi la ka door to door. Lela ka door to door ke lona lifike li screen and test so to identify a hotspot lelibandla liyahamba lifike li screen li test emva kwaloko so that sito thatha laba infected sikhone lokunqoba lapho lomkhuhlane masinyana. So lokunye lesikwendako it's working through lamanye ma sectors in terms of emaphoyisa in ensuring bo enforcement and compliance ukuthi bantu ba comply but that is more outside the health space. Ngicabanga ukuthi basically ngakusummarize kanjalo ngobani.
Utsinzelana kumbe inzabaye ukuthi niyahamba niyafundzisa kubonakala kwangathi bantu kumbe batitshela ukuthi sebayati ngeCovid abasenandzaba ingabe nzima yini lekufuna nidlale nine nilitiko ukuthi nikhutsate labantu kumbe nivusetele lolwati ukuthi lomkhuhlane solo ukhona.
Siyabonga ngubani uke wathi lo munye kusukela ngaMarch solo sikhulumela livangele kugeza tandla sishumela ini bantu sebathiniwe. Wathi lo munye bathiniwe bantu but iCovid ayikathinwa ngithi.
Yes.
So ngubane sisebenzisa le principle yasesonvende ukuthi angeke uve nje ukuthi namhlanje sonvo kude abantu sebevile bonke noma ke bantu solo abevangana. So siyaqhubeka silitiko what we try to do is mhlambe siqhamuke with innovative ways.
Yes.
Ukuthi solo siqhubeke sisho ukuthi lo mkhuhlane ingodi but sikusho ngalamanye amagama lo tawukhanza kusekuyama attractor umuntu and using other platforms lesendela ukuthi nalo bekangeva agcine avile. I think sengishito ukuthi sibe nawo ama road shows sine track lehamba around with those messaging.
Yes.
Ukhanze ukuthi mhlambe sidlala umculo abantu labasha bawuthanza umculo nabasalalele lo mculo sebayeva ukuthi hawu naloko akwendiwa. So ukhanze ukuthi umkhuhlane siyakhona ukuthi mhlawumbe sikhulume ngakho. Lesikwendile futhi noma ke lesikwendako differently sesisukile kulobo traditional spaces lebesikibo. We are moving now. We are moving towards Emasonto. We are moving towards a border gate. We've lined up a lot of activities during the festive so that sitina send those activities sikhone lokuthola labantu as possible sikhone ukuthola ema hotspot as possible siwacime masinyane uye athi lo munye expert lesebenza naye umlilo before ube mkhulu uqala ungumlilo munye uyaqala ulayite kulayiteke lapha nalapha so kuthi kube ngumlilo lapha nalapha small fires nakahlangana lama small fires akhipha labo 147 lesabatfola. So what we are trying to do nyalo sithi nasibona le small fires telemandi noma sifake isibhulo lapho so that kutoba le synergistic effect ukhanze ama cases asakhula abamakhulu.
Ningaditsheli ukuthi umncane lo mlilo utawucisha.
Singaditsheli umncane lo mlilo utawucisha ngoba COVID ungilomlilo lothi wena uyalala ngiyawuyekela uyavutha lapha kufike siphepho semoya noma ke umoya lozivunguvungu uthatha umlilo ushisele lonke.
Kumbe sesengasemaphethelweni nje lokuthiwa kube sithinza lana indzaba yayo i second wave sibonile kumbe even labo makhelwane ku identify kumbe sifunza lesithite ukuthi ngiso la kubonakala khona lo mkhuhlane unyuka ngelizinga lesetulu kwagcineke sekufikwa lapho ekutheni kuthathwe itinyathelo ukuthi sekutawubekwa imigomo leconzene nje naleso sifunza ingabe thina lakithi njengoba ubekisa ukuthi kamanzini itinombolo setikhomba ungathi sifuna kugapthela sitawufika ini kumbe kuleso sigaba leso.
Ngiyabonga ngobane emave noma ngabe akhelene ngicabanga ukuthi ngalesinye isikhathi lama interventions angete afana nancamashi ngalokuthi they've got different characteristics. For instance, maybe lengabekisa ngako if you look at the surface area ya Swaziland noma ke Eswatini I think you will agree with me ukuthi it's a dot on a map. When you look at South Africa, even a province, it's a very big thing. So nasengishito lokho ngasho lokho ukuthi kungaba lukhunyana ku situation yethu lokuthi sithi silokhe na region noma silokhe whatsoever unit lesingayisebenzisa ngalokuthi eMaswati a mobile ngiyasuka nje ekseni bakhona abantu labahlala enhlangano labasebenza embabane and now uhlala enhlangano usebenza embabane across 3 regions and I was even told ukuthi bakhona abantu laba cross 4 regions every day I am 17 of which it is possible. Yes. So kungaba likhunyanyana kwenda lokho even la kangwane for those reasons while wenda njalo kunga resulta in a national situation. So it's highly unlikely ukuthi ngendeka but we don't rule out interventions that may be regionalized. For instance kuti Manzini region noma Manzini city udecide kwenda kwekuthi because siyati ukuthi iCovid ibangwa kuhamba kwebantu. So if we have a way of limiting unnecessary travel then it can work for our setting. I think Manzini has actually done it before. So ngiloko ngathi mhlambe kungasebenzela but nje ukuthi sesivale Manzini as a region noma Shiselweni as a region utawukhanza ukuthi bekungete kwasilungela like it is working out in South Africa.
Kumeje sesigcina lokuthiwa ukuthi ingabe nelitiko yini lo nikuthathako sisabhekene nayo lenisambatheka ukuthi kwangathi lo mkhuhlane soqala kwesibili.
Ngasho ukuthi ngubane lo mkhuhlane lo uqala kwesibili kwethu silitiko kungaba ngisho ukukhutsata sive ukuthi tinombolo siyadibona tiyenyuka. And kuloko kwenyuka kwetinombolo tikhona letinkomba leti early njengoba sishito ukuthi i second wave it's an early phase of a second wave. What we've noted elsewhere kulamanye amave sibonile lokho ukuthi i-second wave inemandla lamakhulu. Mancane emave labene second wave yaba below the first wave, of which if we don't respond nasingabe mhlawumbe singadethathi texwayiso telitiko letempilo utawukhanza ukuthi i-second wave yethu itawukhula igcine ingetulu kakhulu even in the of the first wave. And lengakuonisha as we are now, we are approaching a festive season. Sewucalele more festive so khona, and we know what happens in a festive season. Sijabulele kakhulu sinabanibani lo qhamuka kuphi lesamgcina mhlambe wavalelwa i-lockdown kuphi mhlambe sibabonana ngabo Christmas, so sebakhona nyalo vele ema cases si projectile ukuthi atawu increase during the festive period and even after the festive period, because bantu nangabe bathe ngadithathi texwayiso tetempilo batawuthelelana umkhuhlane utawanza even.
Sibonge kakhulu lokho Thwako.
Siyabonga Nkubani.
Mbukele ekhaya loyo bekungivusile koThwako lophuma etiko letempilo luhlangothi lolubuke kubhedvuka kwetifo. Besikhulumisa lana indzaba yekubhedvuka kwesibili kwalomkhuhlane. Sexwayiso ke sithi simaswati asithathe tonke letexwayiso tebetempilo kuthi sifake tifonyo sichelelane sigeze tandla ngamanti lahambako noma ke sisebenzise umuthi wokubulela emagciwane ima hand sanitizers ngoba kubonake nangesheya kwetilwandle ukuthi nasubuya ngekwesibili lomkhuhlane ubuya ngemandla lamakhulu umonakalo ube mkhulu sibili kumunye nangamunye ke ukuthi lokhu kungendeki even laseSwatini ngekwekuthi ke silandzele konke lokho lesifundiswa kona belitiko letempilo. Mbukeli Stalsha silibeke lapho uhlelo kwanamuhla, mina Sibusiso Ngubane ngina zamanzi manze sithi kubukela lokuhle etinhlelweni letilandzelako nisale kahle.